It's food o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Now, I've bought Mama Noodles in Tesco, the large Tesco supermarkets. I bought them online. I bought them in Asian supermarkets. But I've never been sent a pack all the way from Australia. And this is what's happened today. We got some Mama Ramen Noodles, Ramen Noodles from Australia, from the wonderful Trav. Thank you so very much to Trav for sending these noodles. He sent me a load of really good beer, some jerky which I'm going to get round to reviewing, and also some Vegemite and these noodles. So we're going to get into these noodles, and they go in 400 millilitres of boiling water. Stir them in, let them boil for 3 or 4 minutes, and then you add the sachet of powder at the end. So without further ado, I'm going to get into these noodles then, go and cook them, and bring them back here when they're cooked. So very quickly, you can probably hear the kettle boiling behind you in the kitchen. I've opened these duck noodles, and what's impressive, and I love this, because when you normally open a pack of British noodles, there's one boring sachet. Just the one sachet, bit boring, bit rubbish, but not with the Australian noodles. We've got 3 sachets. Here's your first. And then this looks like your little spice pack. And then, oh, this is your fat. I love this. This is your fat. This is your duck fat, your flavour. Oh, this is going to be really good. Can you feel that? Or can you look at that and see that squidgy goodness from the duck fat? Right, I will definitely be back now when all of this is cooked together. But I just wanted to show you before we got into the noodles. Okay, these duck noodles are ready and they smell delicious. I put the fat in, that lovely duck fat, and you can see the glisten on the top of the noodles. You can see that kind of fatty glisten going on there. They look tremendous. Little bits of green in there, little bits of vegetable. They're boiling hot. Boiling hot noodles. But we don't get duck here in the UK. You very rarely see anything with a duck flavour here in the UK. Me, I'll try anything. I will try anything in life. I think life is there to experience it and enjoy it and eat stuff like duck. A lovely saltiness coming through. That's the first thing I'm getting, is a lovely kind of saltiness to these noodles. And then spice. And then it's almost like a Szechuan, a Chinese Szechuan spice flavour coming through. With cinnamon. Lots of cinnamon flavour coming through. But really delicious. It's a really kind of front of mouth spice coming through. That's peppery and it's kind of catches you on the back of the throat. Really good. Really good. You can see, have a look at the dish. You can see the little speckles of chili that's completely covering the noodles. And they're not to be taken for granted. Even though they're little specks of chili, they're not to be taken for granted, because you can really see it there and you can really feel it in the flavour, that lovely chili bite. I've always been a fan of noodles. Personally, for me, I'm a lazy cook. I'm a really lazy cook. To be able to boil some noodles in a saucepan, add some flavour, 4 minutes later, you got a dish like this. This is my ideal kind of cooking. I don't want to faff about for hours on end in the kitchen. Preparing food. I do it once a week. I will do it once a week. I will cook a roast dinner, a British roast dinner on a Sunday. And I'll start at 9 o'clock in the morning. Pardon me. Cutting all the vegetables up. I put the chicken in the oven at 2:30. We're sitting down for about 5:30. So you're talking about like an 8-hour day. Not continuously cooking, but there's a meal on your mind, if that makes sense. But something like this, it doesn't have to be on your mind all day, does it? As much as I love Sunday dinners, as much as I love cooking Sunday dinners, there's lots of flavour in this dish. Lots of flavour. But then, it's only taken 4 minutes. 4 minutes of my time. Noodles, for me, I would choose them over a Sunday dinner. Quite salty. The more you're getting into this, there's a more of a level of saltiness. You get that slight kind of meaty kind of duck fat flavour in there. The noodles are good. Yeah. The salt catches the back of your throat. I'm not sure if you've just seen it there. It was like, whoa. You know, the salt catches your throat. The chili catches your throat. The pepper catches your throat. But they're really good. They're really, really good. Something just really nice and easy to get into. And not just like a boring, like a lunchtime. In the 1980s in the UK, and this is the reason why I appreciate noodles like this. When I grew up in the 1980s, it was like chicken soup or tomato soup that your mother used to get you. Or a cheese sandwich. A cheese bam, a cheese sandwich. That was your lot, you know? These things never existed. Well, they did, but they were a bit rubbish. You get a British flavour like a beef and tomato. This day and age, I'm so pleased to be able to stand here and scoff down and get it all over my chops. A duck noodle for my lunch and it's taken me 4 minutes. And I can't tell you, if you're as old as I am, you'll remember those chicken soup days of the 1980s, or the tomato soup or the cheese sandwich of the 1980s. And it was like, although you were surviving, that's all you were doing. You were like just surviving. You were just getting by on chicken soup. And for the same price these days, again, I'm going to say it again, you can buy yourself some duck noodles. Or if you can't find duck noodles in the UK, because these were sent from Australia, find yourself some chili noodles. Find yourself something interesting to eat. Relatively cheap. They were really good noodles. 8 out of 10. Thank you, Trav. Really appreciate it. 8 out of 10. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.